A couple dozen people filled the Fort Boise Military Reserve Cemetery today to honor the century-and-a-half-long history of Memorial Day. Its roots go all the way back to the Civil War. The Idaho Civil War volunteers put on a ceremony to remember that history. Originally, it was called Decoration Day to remember the fallen soldiers of the Civil War. A century and a half later, Decoration Day has turned into what we know today as Memorial Day.
We had a little guy who's carrying the flag. Really realistic for that era, because those little kids carried the flag for the companies in the Civil War. I think it's very special. I live over the hill, and for years, I took care of this. I think they just have Indian and Civil War veterans.
The basis of the holiday remains the same, while the scope has widened beyond the Civil War. It's to remember those who served our country, especially those who died in the line of duty.
We set aside Memorial Day to honor America's defenders, the ones who earned and deserved our reverence, recognition, and respect.
And this morning, the Idaho Division of Veterans Services hosted a Memorial Day ceremony at the Idaho State Veterans Cemetery. They do this every year to honor our fallen troops. Governor Brad Little shared his thoughts on the holiday's importance here in Idaho.
This day is a reminder to all of us to pass down these values to generations after us. Let's all commit ourselves to making sure this generation and everyone after it honors those who serve in the military forces, especially those that died. The future of our country depends on it.
This year's ceremony also included a wreath presentation and an aircraft flyover. In Nampa, the annual Memorial Day ceremony took place at Kohler Lawn Cemetery in honor of the fallen. The event started with bagpipes and the national anthem, followed by the laying of a wreath on the headstone that honors unknown soldiers. The American Legion riders also presented flags. Legion member Mark Person spoke about the responsibility to remember and honor the memory of those we've lost fighting for our country.
The men and women who died for our freedom represent the diverse patchwork that is the United States of America. They were rich and poor, black and white, male and female. They were from cities, farms, and suburbs. They came from every ethnicity, background, and political spectrum. In short, they looked like any one of us. Their one common characteristic is that they all took an oath to die for America if called upon.
This year's keynote speech was by Todd Carlson, who served in the U.S. Army in the 80s and 90s. He also served as a sentinel at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier in Arlington Cemetery. The ceremony was followed by the playing of taps from a distance.